Hi there, welcome to the Brett Cook Coaching Podcast. So this week what I thought we'd do is just discuss some healthy habits for your mind. So just some little bits and bobs that you can do day to day in order to help keep your mind healthy, keep you where you need to be, and help manage stress and all that other good stuff. So I think the problem with this sort of thing is that they're that easy to do that in the same respect the easy stuff is easy to miss as well. So it's daily habits and things that we should do on a day-to-day basis, but when life gets in the way and we kind of turn to running on automatic, we don't do these things when we really should. And they're that simple and they're that tiny that we miss them, but long term it can have effects on our general well-being and how we perform in all areas. So the first one being sleep. So what I would say is, how well do you sleep? The thing with sleep being important is that I always say this is, if you don't get a good start to the day, then it's very hard to make a good day out of it. According to the British Bedtime Report, which were done in 2017, this might be a bit outdated, but it's probably even worse than this now, is that 2/3 of people don't actually sleep long enough. And obviously there's lots of factors that can change that, but if you're wondering if you sleep better or worse than other people, then 2/3 of people are probably right there with you. And most people fall into getting roughly 5 or 6 hours a night, and the kind of worst part of that is the 5 to 6 hours that they get is actually poor quality sleep. So it does appear that men tend to sleep better, as it seems that most men say that they are calm upon going to sleep. What's really interesting is that we appear to be sleeping less and less as time goes on. So obviously there's lots of factors that can affect how well you sleep or not. So obviously stress is one of those. So if you're stressed, it's one of the biggest culprits when it comes to sleep loss. So it's the biggest thing, so we're going to jump on that first. And 47% of people that were surveyed said that it was stress and worry that was keeping them awake at night. It's hardly surprising that today the anxiety is through the roof. It's challenging times, it's scary times, there's lots going on, but the stress hormone cortisol doesn't help, as it negatively impacts the levels of melatonin that we have. And melatonin helps with sleep. And it tends to peak when we're winding down just into the late afternoon, early evening, if you want to call it dusk time. But it's not just a one-way relationship with these two things. Increased stress leading to less sleep also leads to increased levels of stress. So it's kind of a worst case scenario. And the brain chemicals that stop stress production and cortisol are the same ones linked to deep sleep. Meaning if you're not reaching that state of deep sleep during the night, then your body will continue to just blast out stress hormones. And when you wake up, that's a lot of the time why you feel shit. So sensory overload is another reason that people struggle. So you might be listening to this on your phone, you might have it on in the car, whatever it is, but we live in a state of sensory overload. And it was studied in the amount of distractions that we have, and turning to social media and people checking the phones and stuff like that are bigger than ever. But what can kind of impact that as well, in the sensory term, is too much blue light. And if you're in the night time and you're in front of screens and you're on your phone, it really does affect our sleep patterns. So too much light makes it hard to sleep, and it's incredibly effective at changing our body's internal rhythm. So our circadian rhythm, it's very effective at changing that, which alters our preferred time of sleeping. It's not only the light bulb, obviously, that's changed that. It's as I said, screens, laptops, all that sort of stuff. But what we need to do is start to manage our way into sleep, if that makes sense. So that's the first factor that's quite multifaceted, actually. There's a lot of things that affect your sleep, but we'll kind of cover those because they all tie in together. So cutting back on social media. The thing about social media is, if you think about the stuff that you see, there's very rarely much positive stuff actually going on. And I've spoke about this before, the way that you choose to be programmed. What most people do is they get up, the first thing they reach for is either the pants or the phone while they're reaching for the pants. And straight away you're probably pulled into this kind of negative thing where there might have been an earthquake somewhere, someone might have been murdered, somebody's complaining about something, and it's a very negative space to be in. But that time within that 20 minutes upon waking and just before sleep is when you are most susceptible to absorbing those different types of information. And what happens is, without realising it, does affect the rest of your day. And I'm not one of these gurus that's going to say sit there and hum for 20 minutes before you get out of bed and pretend that everything's all right and imagine your life's a Cinderella story and you open the window and the birds are singing and the animals are all sat there waiting to be fed and there's no problems and all that sort of stuff. I'm not that kind of coach. You should know that already based on the stuff that I teach and what I do. But being mindful of it is going to help. So don't just reach for your phones. Cut down on that social media time on an evening. As we said, too much light exposure. You're taking information, your brain's not rested, you're going to sleep, probably with stuff in your mind that you don't realise that you are absorbing, processing, and doing things with. So connecting with friends, that is another awesome, healthy habit. And this is hard because generally we're not solitary creatures. If you think about when we were hunter-gatherers and cavemen and all that sort of stuff. So what I always say to my clients is that the brain is an amazing machine, and our consciousness and our conscious state of the brain and how our body works and how our mind works is actually very new. We don't have the experience to understand the brain completely. That's apparent with scientific study and new things that are happening, and the world of science is advancing all the time, of course it is, but we don't understand it fully. But there is basic things that we need as individuals to be able to feel like we belong and to feel wholesome in ourselves. And like I said, going right back to cavemen or hunter-gatherers or whatever civilization we were, we're not solitary creatures. So if you look at something such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we have a need internally to have social interaction, whether it's at the workplace, whether it's at home. We need social interaction. We're not solitary creatures. So from the point of view of meeting our basic needs, we love to be with people and connect in a good group. But what I would say in respect of that is, again, it's double-sided, because it's not just any group that helps manage our mind. If you're in a group that isn't nourishing you and you're around people that you don't feel can meet your social needs and don't affirm you, I always feel strange when I say that, because I don't generally believe in affirmations as such, but what I mean is people that can kind of fill up your cup. That's probably the way I would say it, and give things to you emotionally, and bring something to your life and not take things away. I think if it's toxic and they're not giving anything to you and they're taking away from your social and mental well-being, then it's time to start looking at different options and making the decisions not to spend time with those people, because success leaves clues, and most successful people, I think sometimes success is bred by obsession, but other times it does leave some great clues, and one of those is that you are your group. You are who you choose to spend time with. The people that you choose to spend time with directly affect what you become. So when you choose to spend time with people, make sure it's with people that you really do enjoy spending time with. Make sure it's with people that make your day better. Make sure it's with people that, for example, when you're driving to see them, you're really excited and you drive a bit quicker, or you finish things early to get there, and you go out your way to see them. That's kind of the connections that you need with people. If it's people that you're going to see and you're kind of like, oh, I'm not really looking forward to this, all they do is complain, all they do is moan, all they do is sit and say they're cold, and all they do is drink tea and moan, then you probably shouldn't be spending time with them. But as I said, then people that you want to be with, you want to spend time with them, you want to just be around them because they make you feel good, then they're the kind of people that you need to be on the journey with. If it's a journey for success, you need to find other people that are driving you and pushing you and make you want to be better. But what I always say is you need to find other lions. If you've got that lion mentality, you need to find other lions. If you're a hunter and you're going out and getting after it and you're taking what you want and you're not just letting life pass you by and thinking, oh, well, it's just the way it is, you need to find other people that are like that. Because when you're not around them and you're with people that don't understand that, it won't make sense. And sometimes you'll feel that there's a disconnect in the relationship and you won't know why. And it's because you're coming from different angles and you look at life very differently. But you need to be with those people that are on that mission with you, that want to strive to have the best life that they can have. And for me, I actively try and find people that want to help make other people's lives better, because that's what I'm all about. For me, that, pardon the crudeness, is what gets my dick hard. It's helping other people, it's making people's lives better. When I'm sat with a client or I'm on the phone with a client or on a Zoom call with a client, we have those penny drop moments where I'm looking in their eyes, they're looking in my eyes, and it's kind of like, boom, we've found it. We know where we are, we know where we need to be. Let's solve the problems. That for me is probably, other than obviously my children and my personal life, the best part of my life. I adore it. And it's for me, it's like taking a drug. It really is. It makes me feel alive. Other than having conversations with people, like I said, that you get lost in time with them when you don't realise you spent an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just sat talking to them, and neither of you are coming up for air because you're that passionate about what you're talking about. I think they're the people that you need to find. But as I said, you'll know because when you're driving to see those people, or when you're meeting up with them, or you've arranged a meet up, like sometimes if my clients are close enough, we have a meet up and we go for a walk and we go hiking and do all this other stuff. When you're on the way to see them, then it feels great. And as I said, you're excited to see them. And even if it's you've seen them recently, it's kind of, you're going there because you know mentally it's so nourishing. So connection with other people and connection with friends is so important. So getting some sun, believe it or not, especially in the UK, people are really, really, really deprived of vitamin D. And it's not just for that, don't get me wrong, but getting some sun, it's been proven. And I spoke about this on a video not too long back, that in the 20s and 30s, they used to have what's called viewing areas. And it was for children that lived in apartment blocks. It was literally like a cage that was stuck on the side of the house. So like a window, so like a balcony, but the kids could sit and play in it, so they could get some sunshine in like high tower blocks and stuff like that. It's no secret, for thousands of years, other communities, and if you want to call it maybe Eastern medicine, that sort of stuff, have realised that a connection with the sun, if you look at the Mayans, their life was directly impacted by the sun, as is ours, but they lived and breathed in cycles, in lunar cycles, if you want to call it that. And they realise that it does affect them. So if you think about it, sleep cycles, lunar cycles, and getting yourself into these states of deep sleep are related to sunlight. And artificial light does affect that. But the other thing is, if you're getting enough sun, then the melatonin chemicals in your body, which help you sleep and help reduce those cortisol chemicals that are bursting around when you're not doing that, then it's a win-win. If you can get out in the sun and you can really, really enjoy that time, even if it's just 10-15 minutes and you're relaxing. Like I said, I'm not one of these woohoo gurus that's telling you to go and stand in the mud with no shoes on and thank whoever you're going to thank, Allah, Buddha, whoever, for the sun. I don't mean that. What I mean is just get outside and enjoy some sunlight. So the other thing is nutrition. So nutrition, a good, healthy, balanced diet. By now, unless obviously it's not your thing and you don't read this sort of stuff, which a lot of people don't, and that's okay, but you would begin to realise that there's a massive link between nutrition and mental health. And in terms of vitamins and micronutrients, they're so important for helping your mental well-being, reducing those cortisol chemicals and making sure that you're getting all the things that you need from your body and from your food. And this is why the 5 a day thing exists. It's not just a government ploy. They're trying to get you to eat more vegetables and more fruit that's packed with nutrition. And doing things in a healthier way. And I'm not going to preach about organic food and all this sort of stuff, because it's not something I eat, but getting the best balanced nutrition that you can will absolutely help you to feel better, feel less full, for example. If you've got irritations to certain foods, then you know you can avoid them, and just getting a general better sense of well-being through your food will massively affect you as well. And the last one that I would say is exercise. Get up and move. Your body was designed to move. And I say this all the time, with people that don't train at all, what tends to happen is that you can kind of see it in the body. They get a bit, without being awful, decrepit. And you can see like when they're moving off at sofa, everything's cracking and banging and clanging. And like when they're bending over, you can hear them groaning and moaning, and the body you become old within your own body. And one of the best ways to stay young, stay fit, stay healthy is get some exercise. Get out there and move. And the benefits of doing that daily, even if it's just a little bit, you reduce your stress, your mindset's better, you've got clarity, you've got a sense of purpose, you've got a sense of achievement, because you're celebrating what your body can do. And just doing that, even in the morning, if you get up and just have a little stretching routine, maybe you've got some dumbbells, maybe it's body weight, maybe you stick some music on and have a dance, and cleaning up, taking the stairs, 10,000 steps a day, all these things are great for helping reduce your stress. Like I said, get that body moving, make you feel strong, make you feel better, and it all helps keep that mind healthy. So in summary, make sure, 1, you're getting enough sleep. Okay, so win the morning by getting a good night's sleep. Start the day, sounds cheesy, in the best way that you can. Number 2, cut back on just browsing on social media for no reason. You don't need to do it. Number 3, connect with people, but connect with people that are right for you. Connect with quality people, not people that are taking things away from you. It needs to be people that are filling your cup, as I said, making you feel good, people that you're excited to see, people that you enjoy spending time with. You don't need to spend time with people through obligation. That's the other point that I would like to make. You're never obligated to spend time with anybody. Obviously, if it's your children and you're raising them, then yes, spend time with them. But if it's someone that you don't actually like spending time with, just tell them no. No, you can't come this weekend. No, I'm busy. And if they ask why, just be honest. Sometimes being honest is the nicest thing you can do for somebody, because then you don't leave them in that middle ground wondering what's going on. You can just say, look, to be honest, I'm just working on myself a little bit right now, and I'm trying to spend time with people that see things a bit differently. It shouldn't be insulting. It's people's choice to be insulted. Get some sun. Get out there. Get in the sunlight. Help that melatonin. Help that vitamin D. And help those hormones balance in the right way, in the right favour. Healthy diet. Okay? Whatever you eat is your diet. So you don't have to go on a diet to have a healthy diet. Make sure you're getting your 5 a day. Make sure you're eating some fruit and vegetables. Make sure you're drinking water. Water's so important. Hydration is so important for sleep and mental well-being. And last but not least, be active. So hopefully that all helps, and it will help you to make some good choices daily. As I said, it's not about being woo-woo and standing there humming and looking for robins to come and sit on your fingers like a Cinderella story and you sing to them and all that shit. It's not about that. It's about just using what you've got to make the best of what you have. Hopefully it helps. Stay tuned, more videos, more podcasts coming soon. Check out the pages on Facebook. So Brett Cook Coaching, Busy Ladies Bootcamp for women in Doncaster, Busy Men's Bootcamp for men that are in Doncaster, and Brett Cook Coaching for our online coaching programs. So appreciate the support as usual, and if you like what we do, leave a comment, give us a share, send it to somebody that might need it. I always ask that. If you can send it to 3 people that need the help, then we're all helping each other. Thank you.